It's a long-drawn 8-phase battle for Bengal, a bridge that stands as testimony to the politics of the state. The BJP began its Bengal campaign from here, with the Prime Minister visiting Thakur Badi. In narrow bylanes of Kolkata, the BJP flags can be seen jostling with the TMC flags in several shops here.
The election will be decided on the questions of the working class. People are not getting jobs here.
Obviously, Mamata Banerjee जीतेगी और इश्यूज होगा
डेवलपमेंट हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता, वो तो दूसरी बात है, लेकिन चेंजिंग होना चाहिए।
ठाकुर बड़ी नहीं है, सारा एक गांव का सभी जगह रास्ता घाट घर बाड़ी सभी डेवलप हुआ।
सही और गलत का मैं फर्क नहीं बोलता, लेकिन बीजेपी आएगा तो अच्छा होगा।
Good evening. You're watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. The first phase of the war for West Bengal is set to kick off on Saturday. Today was the last day of the campaign blitz with the BJP's big guns. Amit Shah, Yogi Adityanath, Rajnath Singh and Mithun Chakravarti leading the saffron charge across the state. TMC Supremo Mamata Banerjee also held 4 rallies in a final push ahead of the first phase of this, what clearly is a make or break election. Set across 8 phases with the results on Super Sunday on the 2nd of May. Polling will commence in 30 seats across 5 districts of Bankura, Purulia, Jhargram, West Mednipur and East Mednipur on Saturday. Once the citadel of the left, people in these tribal-dominated districts voted overwhelmingly for the Trinamool Congress in the last 2 assembly elections. However, in the 2019 Lok Sabha polls, the BJP in fact swept this region. In the 2016 assembly elections, the TMC had won 27 of the 30 seats going to polls on Saturday. However, in the face of a resurgent BJP, the TMC may find it tough to retain these seats. It is Khela Hobe versus Vikas Hobe in battleground state, where caste narratives have taken center stage amidst the political pitches of development Hindutva culture. What has been the impact of the BJP blitz? And can brand Mamata Banerjee persevere? Before I get to my guests, I visited Jhargram to decode the pulse from ground zero. On National Highway 6 at the ancient temple of Lodha Sabar in Jhargram, morning prayers are often interspersed with chatter on politics of the state.
हमको जो पसंद लगेगा उसको ही देगा। दिक्कत काम धाम के लिए दिक्कत होता है, कुछ भी आता है लूट के खा लेता है, लेना लोग हम लोग उनको मिलता ही नहीं, हम लोग उनका बात आस्था ही नहीं।
अभी जो अच्छा काम करेगा वही आएगा सरकार में।
काम तो किया तो चाल दिच्छे, गरीब दुखी बाँचছে চাল খেয়ে, তারপরে যে কাম কাজও দিচ্ছে।
মমতা কিছুই তো করেনি, তো ঘর তো দিছিল, পাকা বাড়ি দিছিল, 5টা বাড়ি দিছিল, সুগুনি বাসাতে কিছুই করে দেয়নি। ওরকমই রয়েছে, তো কোথায় থাকবো আমরা গরিব।
इस बार किस इशू पर वोट होगा?
पहले काम और बाद में सब कुछ। काम तो चाहिए और किसी का।
बेकार ज्यादा है ना यहाँ पे, मंगल में बेकार तो ज्यादा है, इसीलिए हम लोग काम चाहते हैं।
विकास कोई नहीं करता है, बड़ा बड़ा बात करता है सभी लोग।
Once a formidable fort of the left, Jhargram in Jungle Mahal was won by Trinamool Congress in 2014. But it went to the BJP in the 2019 Lok Sabha polls. The BJP is leaving no stone unturned in reaching out to voters in this district. At the same time, Mamata Banerjee too is trying to woo them back.
उस बार इलेक्शन अलग था, वो प्रधानमंत्री चुनाव था, अब मुख्यमंत्री चुनाव है, ये अलग बात है। हम दीदी को चाहते हैं यहाँ पे मुख्यमंत्री।
दोनों पार्टी तो ठीक ही काम किया, सेंट्रल में मोदी किया काम और यहाँ टीएमसी देखा जाएगा।
जिसका काम मेरे को अच्छा लगा है वही को हम देंगे, चाहे बीजेपी हो या टीएमसी हो।
इस बार भी शायद भाजपा ही आएगा, सोच रहे हैं, झड़ का हवा ऐसा ही चल रहा है, हवा में तो बदल रहा है सब।
আমার কাছে সব পার্টি সমান,
আমার কাছে সব পার্টিই সমান, কারণ ওই যে যখন আসবে করার আগে আসার আগে সব এই করব সেই করব, করার পরে কিছু নেই।
In Adivasi Bazaar in Jhargram, battle lines are drawn between the defender and the challenger.
आपको लगता है कि काम किया है दीदी ने?
हाँ, तो काम किया है
मोदी जी?
मोदी जी भी कुछ काम हुआ है, लेकिन हम लोग गरीब लोग के लिए क्या काम किया है मेरे को मालूम नहीं है।
তৃণমূল সরকারে আমরা যা কিছু হয়েছে, লুট হয়েছে, কাটমানি, পলিসি তো পাইনি, মানুষের চাকরি নেই, অন্য সংস্থান নেই, ফলে পরিবর্তন একটা দরকার।
মমতা যা কাজ করেছে একদম রোড ফোড থেকে গরিব মানুষের থেকে সব কিছুতেই মমতা ব্যানার্জি এখানে চারটা সিটেই পাবে।
ममता बनर्जी ने काम किया?
ममता बनर्जी कुछ काम तो किया है ही, और वो जो कमिट किया है या हम लोग आएंगे तो काम करेंगे, उसको भी थोड़ा चांस देना पड़ेगा, तो लोग जो समझ आएगा वो करेगा।
यहाँ बंगाल में ममता ही बनर्जी, क्योंकि बंगाली किसी को बाहरी लोगों को आने नहीं देंगे। ममता जैसी भी है, प्रेम है उसको, बंगाल से प्रेम है, यही जन्मी है तो वो ही अच्छा करेगी।
हम लोग दीदी का साथ 100%, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है हम लोगों का।
दीदी तो बहुत सारे काम किए हैं।
भाजपा?
भाजपा तो अभी नए हैं, वो कैसे काम करेंगे वो तो आने के बाद पता चलेगा।
We travel further to West Midnapur to meet the family of Chuni Kotal, a Dalit Adivasi who in 1985 earned the distinction of becoming the first woman graduate from the Lodha Sabar tribe. Her cousin Mrinal reveals the sordid tale of blatant discrimination and casteist slurs that allegedly forced Chuni to end her life.
हम लोग सभी जानते हैं कैसे इस सिलसिले जारी रहते हैं स्टूडेंट और टीचर के बीच, लेकिन कोई हम लोग मुंह नहीं खोलते, क्योंकि वो जो सिलसिला है कोई ना कोई उससे ऊपर चला जाता है विथ डेजिग्नेशन। इससे कोई लोग बोल नहीं पाते, और दूर दूर से जहाँ तक लड़की ने इस सिलसिले में और आगे बढ़ी है उससे खिलाफ जितने सारे कॉलेज से कार्रवाई चालू कर दी, उसकी पढ़ाई वहीं खत्म हो गए और कुछ नहीं। सिलसिले जितने सारे लोग हैं समाज डेवलप।
Kotal's death sent shockwaves across Bengal. There were protest rallies as the dark underbelly of caste stared the Bengali Bhadralok in the face.
जातिवाद के लिए इतने आवाज नहीं उठाते कोई। आप जितने इस 2021 में जितने हो रहा है कि छोटा छोटा शहरों में, छोटा छोटा गांव में लोग इस जात के ऊपर बता रहे हैं, क्योंकि इस जात के ऊपर से राजनीति हो रहा है।
कौन कर रहा है?
हर पार्टी कर रहा है।
The caste undercurrent that has always been simmering in Bengal has now taken center stage in the state's politics, one that will decide 2nd of May. In Jhargram, with video journalist Ravinder, this is Maria Shakil. Let me bring in my guests now. Rahul Verma, CPR fellow, Radhika Ramaseshan, columnist, Sabha Naqvi, senior journalist, Shwetank Bhushan is a political analyst. Rahul Verma, beginning with you, will it be 2019 or 2016 in this belt that is going to polls on 27th?
Oh, certainly not 2016, for sure. The game has changed a lot. The terrain has moved. So it can be somewhere between, like, the worst outcome for the BJP would be somewhere between 2016 and 19. And that would also be the best outcome for TMC. I don't think you are going back to 2016. BJP, after its resurgence in 2019, has invested much more resources than one can imagine. And this is their pocket burrow for now. If they don't do well here, then I don't think they will be able to defeat TMC in this election. I think first 2-3 phases are going to be very, very crucial for any of these two parties to basically take a lead and maintain that lead in 8-phased election.
Yes. And Shwetank, what's your assessment? As of today, who has the edge? Of course, that is before the first vote is going to be cast.
Is that question to me?
Yes.
That's a difficult question because I don't want to answer who will win the game before even the game has started. But certainly, I think,
both the chemistry as well as the
Mamta is a
arithmetic,
very formidable.
both are in the favor of BJP, and the anti-incumbency on the ground is acute. I mean, it is not only acute; it is filled with hate, filled with fear. So I don't think Mamta can survive that with her tantrums this time.
So there is a massive onslaught that has come from the BJP side. Sabha Naqvi, of course, in 2019, when we look at the statistics purely, BJP had won Purulia Lok Sabha seat with over 50% of votes. Midnapur and Kharagpur are other hot contest zones. Both these assembly segments come under Midnapur Lok Sabha constituency, which is of course represented by BJP's Dilip Ghosh. So is this also about testing of waters by the current BJP state president, Sabha?
Maria, I'm going tomorrow to Bengal, but I'll just say one thing. I am familiar. I haven't traveled in the past year, but I did begin my career in the Telegraph newspaper. I have some idea of Bengal. And I traveled a lot in the countryside there when I was researching a particular book. And what I think is sociologically happening in Bengal is something that completely escaped it. Tamil Nadu, for instance, a state which is also going for elections, had this caste awareness years ago before Mandal came to North India. In Bengal, you had none of these caste identities. You didn't have groups of people who were operating as caste groups, which you had elsewhere in India. If the BJP succeeds in this effort, this election will be about anti-incumbency. It will be about other things. However, I gather that Mamta personally is not unpopular on the ground.
Yes.
But what's interesting, Maria, if you recall, if the first phase goes well for the BJP, in a terrain where people are afraid, they don't want to vote for the losing side, it creates a certain buzz. Now, you may remember that in Bihar, the last election we had, the first phase went okay for the RJD.
Yes.
It created a buzz, and there was a complete pushback after that. And then, of course, phase two, so the traditional thing is people also like to vote for who they believe will win. So the fact that this is, as Rahul Verma just said, that this is an area where the BJP would expect to do well, we will start getting some clarity from political class, somewhat, if we can. Of course, these things are very hard to deduce. Yes. So, but I think the first few phases will give us an idea whether, but how it's going to go down. But the traditional opinion is, of course, that Mamta would have the edge, but I don't know at this point until I go to the ground.
Yes, absolutely. Perhaps it's too early to say anything.
Yeah.
And the party which will be able to build the momentum in its favor, particularly in the first two phases, may have 2nd of May is going its way. Radhika, come in on this. Of course, 2016, we have seen what happened. TMC secured 45% votes in Bengal, while the left and the Congress alliance got 38%. This time around, left and Congress may have formed this third front, but that third front is hardly resonating on ground. It is increasingly becoming a bipolar contest, a direct face-off between the BJP and the TMC. But look, the distance that they have travelled from what they were, just 3-seat party in the assembly in 2016, now they are a direct challenger to Mamta Banerjee at 40% in 2019.
Yeah. It's enormous, the gap that the BJP has covered. And the important thing to remember is that the BJP, after its spectacular success in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, focused, single-mindedly focused on the assembly elections. I mean, I would say that the BJP leadership has not given that kind of attention to either Tamil Nadu or Kerala. They have, because every election is taken seriously by the BJP, but the kind of energy, time and resources that they have invested in West Bengal shows that they are determined to, win. And it's not a question of the West Bengal elections being a dry run for the BJP. There is nothing like a dry run or a semi-dry run. This is it. The BJP has to kind of make its mark this time. But while you were talking to the people of Jhargram, I noticed that somebody did mention this phrase, cut money. Now, I am told that this cut money phrase is becoming a kind of an albatross around Mamta's neck. While she herself may be popular on the ground, I mean, nobody has anything terrible to say about her. It is her party, it is her relatives, it is people seen as close to her, as her political confidants, her political strategists, if you like. There's a lot of resentment from within the TMC and for the people against her MLAs, against the Zilla
Radhika, we are
Parishad
showing
member.
those visuals of Mamta Banerjee on a wheelchair. Has that imagery lived its life? That it will not be on the basis of which the women voters, particularly in Bengal, will be deciding their vote? That an injured Mamata who needs sympathy perhaps from the women voters?
Yeah, I mean, okay, the women voters do constitute a major constituency now in any election. And Mamta has kind of, used that imagery to the hilt. I'm sure she was in great pain. And I quite admire her for doing what she did. I mean, she didn't allow that injury to handicap her electioneering. There she was on the ground from day 2 or day 3. That could evoke a degree of sympathy, provided the anti-incumbency is not terribly strong on the ground. If it is, then I doubt whether the sympathy factor is going to kick in a major way, even with women.
Okay, Sabha, a quick word from you and then I'll bring other two panelists. Particularly this image and Mamta's reach out that is happening from both the sides, I would say. Not only Mamta Banerjee, even the BJP is reaching out to the women voters because they realize that they are perhaps the key to power. As much as we understand and decode the women voters, what about the caste factor? When I was on ground, Sabha, increasingly I was surprised that the manner in which caste as a narrative was being discussed on ground.
Maria, that's really interesting and I'm really looking forward to discovering it. You and I are from the Hindi belt. My family is from UP, you are from Bihar. We know how caste is the first question you get into and analyzing that.
Yes.
Bengal was traditionally ruled by a party which said there was no caste and there is only class. And as Mandal was happening in North India, the representation in the Bengal assembly was remaining upper caste. And as I repeat to you, Tamil Nadu, which is fantastic on every indicator, had that process years ago. Okay, so I think we are witnessing a sort of subaltern churning in Bengal right now, which is now new because Bengalis are now coming to terms with it. That there are people. The world was not this perfect world of just whatever, of the way some calculator. However, at the same time, I think the BJP has many ingredients. There is also Hindutva, there is also polarizing against Muslims. But I think the main ingredient would be this idea, if they succeed, we have to accept that the main ingredient would be the idea of change, of directly getting something, because it's also a very poor and backward state, getting something, and it would be the caste identity.
Yes, I think that subaltern shift or the churn that is visible. Shwetang, we are talking increasingly about the caste factor here. Of course, we are looking at the women factor, but the caste. Is this an understanding largely now that whether these, what Mamta Banerjee says that, these are my Bengali Lodhas, and the BJP is saying that these are Lodhas. So the larger umbrella is what the people will be deciding now that they want to come under, whether they want to expose their that dark fault lines of Bengal, which is about the caste fault lines.
Look, Maria, Bengal was ideally not known for caste politics, I agree, but it is Mamta Banerjee who started this identity politics there. And this is what has boomeranged. When you start identity politics, then you have to cater to it. But she, in her, blatant appeasement politics, she created identity politics and then ignored them. Corruption was rampant, but people ignored her. You have to understand the phenomena, what happened exactly between 2016 and 2019. It was not a small churn. The whole state turned upside down. Then what went wrong? What explains this? Okay. There was, these SCs and STs and OBCs. Now the caste politics in Bengal is absolutely apparent. The SCs, especially the Matuas from the Namashudras and other SCs as well, who are migrants from Bangladesh. They were not given citizenship till date. And then you oppose the CAA. Similarly, when it comes to OBC reservation, you give reservation only to the OBC of a particular community, ignoring a larger community. And this appeasement one side, corruption the other side. And then the violence, that the watershed election in the 2018 was the turning point.
Okay.
You battered people economically, you batter them physically, and then you appear as
Okay,
a
come in
party
on this.
of a
Fine
particular
enough.
community.
Shwetang, I get your point. Come in on this and elaborate a little, Rahul Verma, particularly the caste factor at play in Bengal.
So I'll make 3 points. First, on the imagery of Mamata Banerjee on the wheelchair.
Yes.
It can play both ways. Some people are reading that this will generate sympathy for Mamata Banerjee. She's campaigning in pain. But this may also work against Mamata, where there are rumors or there has been allegation that TMC cadres basically intimidate, use violence to get votes for their party. Now, basically, the alleged attack on Mamata will get a greater sense of confidence among opposition parties' cadres on the ground that, we can go out and vote without fear. The second thing on the women vote is that, yes, TMC had an advantage in women vote in 2016, but BJP, which used to have a disadvantage across the nation among women vote, is now closing that gap. In 2019, BJP did not face any gender disadvantage. So now going forward, I don't think in Bengal, TMC will have any serious advantage among women voters. Third, and I think the panelists among before me pointed out, it's not that caste was not there in Bengal. Social identities remain. So caste remained in social. Bengalis were looking at caste when they were marrying.
Yes.
So it's not that caste was not present.
Yes.
What happened in last 10 years, that these social identities, caste, religion, and sect basically spilled into the political arena. That's the change.
Yes.
Now, why did that change? It's largely because Mamata, in her effort to decimate left, create her own bigger social base, used these identities to mobilize people. She was the one who basically, used the Matua card first. She was the one who used...
That's right. She used it in 2009.
The religion
before she
card first
came to
in
power
Bengal,
in 2011.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. So between 2009 and 19, Mamata used every possible social identity to the hilt.
Yes.
And now, once those fragments open, they are ready for mobilization by other alternatives also.
Fine enough.
So basically, Mamata, what she managed to do in last 10 years, she consolidated Muslim votes behind her. And that created an opportunity for the BJP to use the religion card and polarize it.
Yes.
So Mamata, in some ways, unintentionally created the conditions for the rise of the BJP.
Okay, let me give the final words to Radhika.
May I add a couple of points to
One
that,
moment,
Maria?
Shwetang, I'm coming to you in just a bit. Radhika gets the final words.
Yeah, I don't entirely agree with Rahul Verma that Mamata created a conducive environment for the BJP to build. Sure, I mean, she has played to identity politics, she has used religion, but suppose she had not, assuming she had done none of this, do you mean to say that the BJP would not have used the religious card? Of course, it's a staple stock in trade in the BJP's toolkit, so to speak. I mean, where has the BJP not used religion or divisive politics in its campaign? Where has the BJP not used caste? You go to Karnataka, it has played the Lingayat card. In Tamil Nadu, I mean, absolutely virgin territory for the BJP. It is trying to prop up the Tewars, and so on. Of course, in UP, it propped up the non-Yadav OBCs and so on. I can recount any number of examples. So it's a bit unfair to blame Mamata. Mamata should be blamed on other counts.
Don't play on examples.
Namely for not controlling her party cadre, her party members, for not controlling her family and, giving them free play, And that has antagonized large sections of voters because there is a lot of anger against petty corruption. And this cut money kind of epitomizes all that has gone wrong on the ground for the TMC.
Maria, can I get 30 seconds?
All right, we have really come to the end of this discussion. Thank you so much for joining us, Radhika Sabha, Rahul Verma and Shwetank. Of course, the first vote will be cast on 27th. The loudspeakers for the first phase have gone silent. This, of course, is our top story. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.